The focus of the Wimp2Warrior program is not just the fight within the cage, but also the ability of the competitors to prosper in other parts of their lives.
One of the big attractions for me for Wimp2Warrior is that it attracts a broad range of people. It's not just your 20-year-old fitness fanatic that wants to be a fighter. We're getting people from all walks of life.
A previous two-time contender and one of many mentors for the Wimp2Warrior program takes the role of providing insight into what is yet to come for the competitors.
I started off as a season 1 contestant in Wimp2Warrior. I stayed on after as a mentor for season 2, and John asked me to come back for season 3 as well. In typical Wimp2Warrior fashion, we've got a real diverse group of people here. You know, you have people from difficult backgrounds, you've got people from professional backgrounds, all mixing well together, that if they weren't put in that position during the Wimp2Warrior program, may never have met each other, or would probably go out of their way to avoid each other, I suppose, and for want of a better word. You know, we've people here who in the past struggled from alcoholism, struggled from drugs. We have people here whose goal here is to prove to people that they have a bit of metal in them that people didn't think they had.
I was always pretty good at kind of sports, you know what I mean? I had a good run at football, like at the youth level. I represented my county and stuff. I think I drank at the first time when I was kind of 12, and I started taking drugs when I was 15, and it got a hold of me pretty quick, you know. When I was 18, kind of I had a life-changing experience, you know. I was out and I was partying heavy. I was taking drugs and alcohol, and I ended up having to go into hospital. A paramedic came and it was with me, it could do with my heart, like. And I went into hospital, and ever since that day, like, I thought I was going to die in the hospital. And yeah, I developed like an anxiety and a panic disorder from that. The way that I managed the anxiety and panic disorder was through alcohol. It was the only time that I felt normal, and at the time I didn't realise I was self-medicating. Drink to escape the anxiety, but then getting more anxiety the next day from drinking. So then drinking again to escape the anxiety, and that was the kind of cycle that I got caught into. Wimp2Warrior has helped me like kind of maintain my sobriety this long, because I've literally found a new passion. Like, I'm the longest I've ever been sober now, which is 10 months. 4 days after the fight, like, I'll be a year sober. It was something that I always had an interest in, but you know, with my addiction, like, it wasn't something that I physically would have been able to do. When I was drinking, I suppose idle time was the devil's playground. The quick escape, the immediate gratification was at the end of a bottle. I believe in healthy addictions, you know. I'm transforming my addictive personality to something that I absolutely love, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
James has had a very big struggle with alcohol for a very long time, and it was very hard. And I always kept my religion up. It probably has nothing got to do with it, but I always prayed that James would come well in the end and turn out to be the man that I knew he could be.
His life is completely changed. He's a better man, great son, and he's fighting now on the 30th of June. I'll be there by his side, and which I've always been. But Wimp2Warrior has just changed his life so much.
It was a long journey of discovery, of self-discovery, you know. I know myself now, I know who I am. And I have such an appreciation for life now. I just feel so grateful, and I just love living, you know.
And then there's Niamh Herity, owner of Ping Kong Animation Studios. She keeps a balance between the lifestyles of an entrepreneur and a warrior.
Our logo is actually a gorilla, just like SPG, so it's kind of cool.
One of the reasons why I decided to do Wimp2Warrior was that over the last 4 years we've been completely focused on the studio. It's our baby, but I noticed, particularly over the last 2 years, that I was just letting fitness and everything just totally go to the wayside, and I needed something. And then I saw that Wimp2Warrior was on and thought that, well, this would be a great challenge. It would get me up early in the morning, start the day, and just decided to see how we'd go with it. And here we are, we're about 6 weeks out from fight night, so I've survived this far anyway. Another reason why I decided to do Wimp2Warrior was because there's diabetes in my family, and I see people affected by it daily. And I just knew myself that I needed to get my own health in order. So yeah, Wimp2Warrior has definitely helped me do that, so it's great. Getting up out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning for fitness before Wimp2Warrior was a no. Just flat out no. Because I'm up earlier in the morning, my brain is switched on quicker. Prior to Wimp2Warrior, you know, you're getting in at 9 and you know, it takes you kind of a half an hour to an hour to get warmed up into it, whereas now I'm already there. I've been up for a few hours already. It's cool having that extra bit of confidence in yourself, knowing that you can kind of handle yourself a bit anyway. This was made for the McGregor-Mayweather fight.
I don't know how Niamh's done it, because the amount of training she's doing is amazing, but she's also managing to work at the same time, so it is achievable.
The training's been great and kept her disciplined, and getting her up at 6 a.m. in the morning, and it's good for the job, because when we come in here we've already thought about what we've to do for the day ahead and planning what the guys are going to be working on. And she's got far fitter and healthier and within herself. And for most of the day she's alert, but you know, come 6 o'clock she gets tired and we go home. But that's a good thing too, because then we're not staying until 9 o'clock at night. So we've got a good work-life balance on the Wimp2Warrior journey with Niamh.
For other business owners that are thinking about doing this challenge, but kind of, you know, are thinking, oh, it'll be too much of a commitment. To be honest, if you can start up and run your own business, you can do Wimp2Warrior as well.
Paul Lowery, after years of training, enjoys the lifestyle of a professional athlete, something that once would seem like an extremely far-fetched idea. The program allows him to keep focus by replacing old habits.
My lifestyle has been pretty hectic throughout my entire life. I used a lot of drugs in my time. I didn't really want to have to deal with the problems I was facing. So I used to take a lot of drugs to
what type of problems were you facing?
I had trouble at home. I was getting in trouble in school with the police. I was at a stage in my life I was homeless. Just a pretty chaotic life. With my drug addiction, it went hand in hand. I used to steal to feed my habit, so that me and the police knew each other intimately. I've served time in prison, prisons all over Ireland. Yeah, it's been a pretty eventful life.
What were you in prison for?
A lot of it was, I was in prison because of, again, my addiction. It would have been shoplifting, larceny. I think around when I was 20, I had my first daughter, Kayla. I think if it wasn't for her, I don't think I'd be sitting here today. I think because of her, I held myself back from, I imagine I would have died from a lot of the crazy stuff I was doing. So I have to say I'm grateful that my daughters came along when they did, because I don't think I'd be sitting here discussing this with you if it wasn't for them. I had always dreamt of competing. I didn't know, maybe perhaps wrestling, boxing, but I'd never been confident enough to take the step and actually go in and do it. So an opportunity arose, and I grasped that I was given the opportunity to go and train in SBG and compete in the Wimp2Warrior, and I took it. My personality has definitely changed. I was so super negative I tend to see a lot of positives in people now. I like to encourage rather than tear people down. I like who I am these days. I think I'm a better version of who I was. This room is my sitting room, which I used to do a lot of sitting in. I used to spend a lot of time here taking drugs and not enjoying life. Didn't enjoy it one bit. Now this room I use for stretching and shadow boxing. So I absolutely love it. So big changes. Anyone can do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. 4 years ago, the police came to the door looking to arrest yours truly, to bring me to court, to bring me to prison, and they broke my door in. So again, just a nice reminder of where I've come from and stuff that I won't forget. So miserable when I used to go into that methadone place. So miserable. So glad to be out there. I'm not sure what they prescribe it for. It's, for me, it kind of just slowed down my drug taking and didn't stop me using. The stage in my life where I wasn't lucky enough to have a roof over my head. Cardboard was my mattress, and this is it. It's actually pretty weird from back here now. Now that I have a roof over my head, it's kind of bittersweet, I don't know. I'm so grateful that I was able to pull myself out of that. I used to go into town, I'd have to steal clothes to sell them, to feed my habit. I'd come back here with some fresh cardboard, and that's where I slept, and that was my home for 6 months. Not really much more I can say about that. I'm very protective now of mixed martial arts because it's helped me so much. Lucky to have found it.
This program may simply be an early morning session, but for others, it's the dawn of a new version of themselves.
Last 15 seconds, come on! Let's go!
And when fight night arrives, after all they have been through, all that they have achieved, that new version of themselves gets an opportunity to express itself in a warrior fashion.
I think when we done the interview at the start of Wimp2Warrior, I said I wanted to see what I was made of, you know what I mean? And this journey has given me a glimpse into that, and I'm still here, you know? Something that I'll definitely continue 100%, win, lose or draw.
People who run businesses will have a certain mentality, and that's 100% the mentality that somebody in Wimp2Warrior would have as well.
If I can do it, why can't anyone do it?
It's given me confidence, it's given me courage, it's given me happiness.
When he went to Wimp2Warrior, he really did, he became a warrior.
It's been a great experience, and I can't put into words, you know, what kind of it's done, both physically and emotionally.
The great thing about the mat is everybody's equal on the mat. It doesn't matter what walk of life you come from. It's all about who's putting in the most amount of effort, and it's just a lot of fun to deal with, because you never know who you're talking with on the mat.
When you come across people who come into the gym, some from various different backgrounds, and you see the changes in them over the 22 weeks, they form this bond and this friendship that it's very difficult to describe. And one thing I always say to them is, there's no such thing as the word can't. There's only won't. If you can instill that mindset into them, regardless of whether it's on the mats here in the gym or whether it's in a difficult situation in life, they'll make the right decision and they'll get the benefits of that.